You know, I really appreciate it when people ask me questions about my History Digger YouTube channel. I'll get questions about the location, the finds, but one question I get all the time is about the equipment I use to film my videos. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, one question I'm often asked is, what equipment do I use to film my YouTube videos? So I'm going to go over that in a little bit of detail. What's the obvious thing? Well, we have to make a choice with the type of camera we want to use. An obvious one would be a smartphone. I'll talk a little bit more about this. There are times when you may want to use a smartphone, but there are obviously some challenges and problems with using an iPhone. So for me, I chose to use a portable digital camera. This happens to be a GoPro camera. This is a GoPro Hero 7. And you're going to see I actually use two of these. They're waterproof, they're small. Most importantly for me, they include a stabilization mode. So, what that does is it eliminates some of the bounce in those shaky videos. I think the quality is phenomenal. Let me just show you very quickly what it looks like to load these things. They do come with rechargeable batteries. Okay, the batteries themselves are not very expensive. I think if you're like filming continuously, these may last, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes. They don't take that long to charge. I can actually charge two of them at one time here. And I think I normally carry 4 or 5 of these with me. As I said, they're not that expensive, but they load in just like that. Now also in here you may see there is a micro SD card. That is the medium on which you're actually going to record. Now what holds my camera? Okay, I have several choices. This particular model of the GoPro requires this device, this cage of sorts. This is key because it allows you to hook up your GoPro to a variety of other devices. So what am I talking about? Let me show you what I mean here. This happens to be a clamp that you can use to clamp onto a backpack strap, part of your bike, that type of thing. And the way this works, there is a thumb screw here that quickly detaches. And when your camera is inside this cage here, okay, you can hook it to any one of these devices. So in addition to this particular one, I have seen some people, I don't do this, but some people will attach their camera to the shaft of their metal detector. That actually can be nice. I've just chose not to film that way. I know some people, when they detect on the beach, they have a head strap. I have one of those. I'm not showing it here, but similarly, the camera would go in that head strap and it fits around your ball cap. Most of the time, what I do is use a chest harness. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this in here and show you how I wear the chest harness to film. GoPro stop capture. Okay, so I've just simply hooked the chest harness up here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like on. Okay, there we go. So you can see this is adjustable. It allows me to tilt the camera down. And, this can be very effective, but I think to make a good video, a captivating video, you sometimes want to have different angled shots. And I'm actually going to show you how I do that and how I'm filming this shot as well. Okay, so what I have here is a second GoPro camera. It's also a GoPro Hero 7. And this one actually is on a tripod, which I find very helpful because it's telescopic, meaning that I can change the length of the actual tripod, but the legs also open up. And this is a perfect size. It fits in my finder's pouch, and I just find it really helpful. So sometimes I will film my dig, okay, wearing my chest harness, and you'll see another shot of that same hole, that same dig, from the angle of the second camera here that's sitting on a tripod. Okay, so do you need two cameras? Absolutely not. You can get by with one camera, but I think when you're constantly changing between your tripod and your chest harness, you know, it can be a little inefficient. So I am going to share with you something in a little bit that might be another option to having two cameras. I also want to talk about this thing right here. This is actually a wind cover. It's essentially a sponge that fits over top of the camera. And for those days when you're outside or maybe perhaps on the beach and you get a lot of wind noise, it's similar to those balls you'll see on top of TV microphones. They serve the same purpose. They literally screen and break the wind, okay? You can still hear your voice and so forth. These are very inexpensive, right? And they just slide over top of the camera. Okay, also what you see here is a drone. Sometimes, depending on the location, if it warrants, I may use a drone to capture some aerial videos or aerial photos using my DJI Spark. This can come in handy as well for entry shots. It also has a micro SD card similar to the one I showed you for the camera, as well as a detachable rechargeable battery. This particular drone is actually a few years old. They have some other options on the market, by the way, as is this camera. GoPro has, I think the newest one is the GoPro 11. Do not feel you need to get the most current camera. This is a phenomenal one. They still sell it. There are some new bells and whistles on the more recent models. For example, if you're filming yourself, in addition to this screen, which is just a battery indicator, it tells you if it's on or off, you can actually see a live video of yourself. Are you in frame? Do you need to adjust the camera? Those are some of the features on the new one, but of course they cost a lot more money. But this GoPro Hero 7 Black is still a wonderful camera. Now, as I said, you may want to use a phone, okay? The issue I have found with a phone, similar to the camera, right? You need to have a harness of some type, a holder. When you're metal detecting, you need both hands. One to swing the detector, another one to dig. Somehow you have to have something to hold your camera, whether it's a GoPro or a phone. They also make harnesses that use the same GoPro attachments. I just talked about this in another separate video, but this is also something I plan to use for times when it might be more convenient to film with my phone. Now, a couple things about this, what I've learned. I'm just starting to use this, but it can be quite heavy. The phone can be quite heavy. That it doesn't work as well as the GoPro, I have found. But why am I doing this? This is going to be really helpful for some potential live streams that you will, I believe, can only record in portrait versus landscape mode. But also if you're interested in putting together any YouTube shorts or Instagram Reels, you're going to want those to be filmed in the vertical, the portrait mode. So again, this provides that hand-free option. It's a harness just like the GoPro harness that I shared. Okay, and lastly here, I just purchased something from snapmounts.com that might allow me to get by using just one camera. And I'm going to show this in a separate video, but let me just say what this includes is a magnetic adapter that fits onto the cage that I was talking about that allows you to simply, detach your camera from a shoulder harness and magnetically attach it perhaps to a tripod. So rather than constantly taking it in and out of the device or even have to have two cameras, we'll see if that offers the promise of efficiency. I hope that was helpful. This is one of the 5 questions I often get about my YouTube videos. If you think it'd be helpful for me to talk about the other questions here, please drop a comment after this video and let me know which, if any, of these questions are of most interest to you. Thanks for watching.